kids, welcome to another video of Dong Gamers, and today will be the start of another small series called Brawler classes. If many of you didn't know, Brawl Stars categorizes Brawlers into 7 different categories. 1. Damage Dealer, 2. Assassin, 3. Marksman, 4. Artillery, 5. Tank, 6. Support, and 7. Controller. I will leave a link to the website which summarizes what the classes generally represent, as well as the link that categorizes 68 brawlers to give you an overview of the brawlers and their classes. All will be left in the description below, so do check it out. Today we will be talking about damage dealers. So briefly, damage dealers are strong against tanks and assassins, but are weak against marksman and artillery classes. If you're wondering what artillery classes is throwers. Basically throwers like Barley and Tick. Some example of damage dealers are Code, Shelly, 8-Bit, Spike, and many more. Now that the introduction is done away with, let's get to the tips. So tip number 1, don't waste bullets, use them wisely. Every shot counts as a damage dealer. You're your team's primary source of damage. Unlike brawlers like Crow or Pam, you can't rely on chipping away on enemies. You need to maximize your damage output by aiming carefully and landing critical hits. Don't waste ammo on targets that are out of reach or moving too quickly. For example, BB and Crow. Don't try to waste time on those targets because they are usually quite hard to hit if they know how to dodge well. For example, Max, when he has his super ready and then he has a speed boost, it's pretty much impossible to catch them unless they are really bad. So full clips on exposed enemies to secure elimination. Focus on hitting people within your range that are open, they are not hiding. That way you won't waste too many bullets. And if you miss your shots or waste ammo, it can significantly impact your team's chances of winning. Maybe in low elo you feel you miss here and there, you still can win. But in high elo, your accuracy should be at least 80% so that you can win pretty easily. If not, you're going to have a tough time winning. Have you ever thought, what is the best possible time you can deal the most damage to the enemies? Maybe you've thought of it. Maybe subconsciously you know it, maybe you never really think about it. But through my experience, through the 5 years I've played, and of course with logical thinking, the easiest time to deal the most damage to enemies is when they are distracted. When they are distracted with your other teammates. Right? And this brings us to the second point. Tip number 2, look out for distracted enemies. Right? They will most likely be too distracted by your teammates to notice your intentions to take them down. So use that chance to deal high damage to your opponent with just 1 ammo. Since you're a damage dealer, right? 1 ammo is enough to do massive amount of damage to them. However, you have to ensure that you are discreet so that they don't notice that you are aiming at them. Because if they know you're aiming at them, they will 100% dodge, right? So you have to be discreet. I don't know if you guys know, but for me, for long time players, maybe even for you, you can tell what your opponent is trying to do just by movements. You can tell if they're trying to run away, if they're trying to shoot you, if they're trying to focus on dodging and all that. You can tell, right? Just by their movements. So be discreet when aiming at an opponent and keep in mind that the game isn't won when you can outplay your opponent. And it is when your team outplays your opponent team. So look out for your teammates. Don't be too focused on your fight because it's not a solo fight, it's a team fight. You're playing your team, that's how you carry guys. Next, it's a very generic, but many people miss this point out, which is tip number 3. Play in open maps. Guys, would be like such a simple tip. Don't need to mention it, I know this myself, but even though you know that you should be playing in open maps, do you guys actually go and open up the map? That's the thought. Now let me continue my description. Many of these damage dealers are long range, so play in maps where enemies have little to no space to hide. Everyone knows this. I'm sure many of you guys know this, but don't really consciously apply it, which you just say it. Perhaps you guys just choose an open map to play in and that's it. That's what most people do, right? They just choose one open map and they just play and they don't worry about changing the map structure, right? That's not all you should be doing. You must be consciously knowing which part of the map you want to open before hopping the game. You have to plan beforehand what walls you want to open, where you want to shoot, at what time maybe you should open this part of the map. All this should be in the head. But of course if you are good enough, you can just hop in the game and you pretty much know what part of the map to open. That's if you are really good at the game. And you might be asking me, how do I open the map? many things. For example, you can use super to break walls, per super to break wall. Just go to a wall and break it. It's not really a waste to break a wall. It's putting your team in a very advantageous situation, and breaking walls can help you get super more easily if you break the right walls. So don't think about how using a super to break the wall is a waste. It's not. And another example is using code gadget to break walls. I love to use code gadget to break walls, but take note that if you're using code gadget to break walls, for especially the side walls of the goalpost, you have to aim in the middle of the goalpost to be able to break both walls. If not, you will only be able to break one of the walls. But you might be wondering, if the map is a closed one, which means there's a lot of walls, a lot of bushes, does that mean I shouldn't play damage dealers? Well, even if the map isn't really open, it can be advantageous to pick damage dealer brawler because it just means more close range brawlers will be selected in that map, right? For example, it's a map that has a lot of walls. Means there will be a lot more close range brawlers that will be selected. So as long as you make the map open, you'll be the one having the upper hand, and then the close range brawlers won't be able to touch you at all. But you must be really good. If not, you will die before you can even have your super, or before you even have the time to open the map. So next tip 4, pretty important, especially since you're the damage dealer and you are technically the one that should be carrying the team. Fight against brawlers you are good against. Avoid brawlers who counter you to prevent wasting time and resources. For example, if you're playing Colette, prioritize targeting tanks like Primo or Frank, which makes logical sense, right? That's why you play Colette, to take tanks down. If you're playing Colette and you're trying to take Crow down, what's the point of playing Colette? So don't just stick to your lane, be strategic and switch lanes to find easier targets. You know what that switch lanes mean, right? There's the right lane, there's the middle lane, and there's the left lane. You guys know that, right? Understanding which brawlers counter each other is crucial for success, which over here I say refer to the link website for detailed breakdown of brawler classes and learn the classes' strengths and weaknesses. Another video I also say to study the brawlers so that you can play Brawl Stars well. But basically, you must know which brawler counter which brawler so that you can counter the opponent brawler. So anyway, remember switching lanes should benefit the entire team, not just yourself. You shouldn't just switch to a tank lane just because you're better to fight against a tank. What if you switch with a tick and the tick is now paired up with a Mortis? That's a worst case scenario. So don't switch lanes if it places your teammates in a sore-lose situation. Teamwork is everything. So last but not least, tip number 5. Always keep one bullet in reserve. I don't think many of you guys will actually think about keeping it. Most of you guys will just use it, I think. But let me state down the benefits of keeping one in the reserve. This ammo can be a lifesaver against surprise attacks from assassins or charges like Boo. For example, there's a surprise attack from Lily, from Mortis suddenly charging in, from Boo suddenly charging in. This one ammo can help you get your super, and your super can help defend you. Additionally, having an extra bullet ready can create crucial opportunities to deal massive damage. What I mean by this is, imagine finding the perfect moment to shoot someone. For example, suddenly you didn't expect your team to stun someone in front of your face, right? The enemy is stunned in front of your face. But then you realize you have no ammo to shoot the enemy. So annoying, right? So clearly by conserving bullets, you'll maximize your damage output and charge your super faster. So this tip becomes increasingly important as you climb the Brawl Stars rank. Why? Because at high elo, people can guess how many bullets, how many ammo you have left, and then make decisions based on them. So if you have always no ammo left, the enemies can quickly find the right time to push you back, and you won't want that to happen, right? So you always want to have one bullet to keep them guessing, should I push him or not? He got one more bullet left to shoot me in case I push him and all that. You always want to keep them guessing. You don't give them a good big decision where, oh my, it's the perfect time to push them, let's push them. You never want to give them that assurance. So keeping one bullet in the reserve is always a good practice. That's a tip for you. So a quick summary of all the 5 tips. Number 1, don't waste bullets. Use them wisely because you are the carry and you must be able to land your shots. So tip 2, look out for distracted enemies, and that because that's the best time you can shoot them. Tip 3, play in open maps and not just select maps and do nothing about the structure. You have to consciously break down walls that are good for your team, and you always have to be thinking while you're playing in open maps. Tip number 4, fight against brawlers you are good against. Technically goes for every single brawler, but especially for damage dealer brawlers since you're the one doing the damage. And tip number 5, always keep one bullet in the reserve. Something that I don't think you guys would have heard from any other YouTubers. I don't watch other YouTubers, but you get it. If you guys have any inquiries of require further explanations, please do not hesitate to write your inquiries in the comment below, or join the Discord channel I made. I'll leave the link in the description below, and ask any questions anytime. So far, I think there's one person joined. I don't know who you are that joined, but thank you for joining anyway. And a quick shout out to my shirt store. Do follow my shirt Instagram to give a little support at Only Store You Need. Link will be in the description below. It's a quick design. And I hope you learned something and hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.